So the first principle and the most important principle is no posture or position is bad. You hear a load of rubbish on the internet about a particular posture being good, like sitting up nice and tall all the time with a straight and flat back. This is complete rubbish. Alternatively, hunched over and rounded all the time isn't good. So what you want to do day to day is not stress about your posture position. Just make sure you're changing your posture position every 20 to 30 minutes. If you're stuck at a desk all day or in the gym, it's just about being mindful that you don't have to have a flat and straight spine all the time, even when you're doing conventional gym exercises, because our spine is designed to bend and relax and round as well. Principle number 2 is general to specific. So this relates to the approach you would take with exercises, with lower back rehab. So imagine you got lower back pain from deadlifting. The deadlift itself as an exercise is not the issue. And to get back to that, you need to start as general as possible and then slowly work your way back to deadlifting. Sounds really, really simple, but a lot of people don't understand the process. So, for example, the most general exercise on the opposite end of the spectrum to a deadlift could be a body weight hip hinge, for example. And then somewhere in the middle, you have deadlift or pull variations from different box heights. So you could start high on these box heights, so you have less stress on your lower back, and then over time you decrease the box heights until you're all the way back to the floor and you can pull your normal deadlift. And of course, again with these, start off nice and light, build up some volume and intensity really slowly, and then over time build back to doing the deadlift. You wouldn't jump from just doing a bodyweight hinge straight to a deadlift. And it's the same concept in kind of any other exercise progression or sport. In weightlifting, you wouldn't jump to doing a snatch or clean jerk before learning how to lift a barbell with the appropriate technique, mobility, all of those things. Principle number 3 is movement variety. And this is really important when we're dealing with lower back pain, because the spine is designed to bend, flex, rotate, be in different positions. So again, this relates to point number 1 about no postural position is bad. But within your rehab and your general training, after you finish rehab, you need to bend, rotate, and flex your spine more. Now, what does this look like in terms of movements? Well, including things like med ball throws, where you're slamming the ball down, you're rotating, you're scooping, you're doing different things with your body. So any kind of med ball throw variations are great. And again, you can be as creative as you want with these. So I know the classic one is just a med ball throw, a med ball slam on the ground, but you can do scoop passes into the wall like you're playing rugby. You can do overhead throws into the wall. You can do vertical throws up into the air. You can combine these with jumps, lunges, twists, rotations. The amount of variety and variability is endless, and you can chuck these into your warm-ups, or you can chuck them in at the back end of the session as part of your accessory work, which will really help your core strength, but will also just help, again, with exposing your spine to different types of movement instead of just moving up and down, which most of us do in the gym 99% of the time. And the last principle is tension isn't always a good thing. Now, what do we mean by tension? Well, in 99% of our gym exercises, we build tension to move weight. So for example, going back to the deadlift or even the squat, any barbell movement, we brace and tense really, really hard to move the bar. You need to learn to relax and chill and do movements that don't use a lot of tension. So going back to the med ball throws and the med ball work, you can do this in a way where you're using a lot of tension, you're putting a lot of power down, but also during the early stages of rehab, when your lower back pain is quite irritable, learn to relax with these throws. Just think about when you were a kid, you were throwing a rugby ball around, you were throwing balls around, you were playing football. You weren't like actively thinking about tensing your muscles or creating movement. It just happened as a byproduct. So when you're doing these med ball throws, as an example, just really relax through your spine. Let your body kind of flop. Let your guts and everything inside you slosh and move side to side. It's a bit of a weird cue, but it really helps. Instead of just thinking, oh, I have to be like really tight and rigid through my spine and move a bit like a robot, which we don't want. So just relax. Let your hips do what they're going to do. Let your spine follow the movement of the ball. Another really simple exercise to reduce tension is lying your back and just doing some pelvic tilts. Now, most people do this exercise completely wrong again because they use tension, so using your abs to rock your pelvis backward and forward, so to move your lower back on the floor and then off the floor. Again, what I want you to think about is you're just gonna, your pelvis is a ball, and you're just gonna roll it forward and then roll it back as gently as you can without using any muscle tension. And again, breathing is just normal, nice and chilled, nice and relaxed, in through your nose, out through your mouth. But I just want you to flick that pelvis forward and back as gently as you can without squeezing really hard through your abs or using any other muscle group. So those are the 4 principles that you can use to fix your lower back pain without massage. If you're interested in more specific diagnosis about your injury and what I offer with online injury rehabilitation, you can book a free injury assessment via the link in the description.